I'll make a motion to accept them. Second. Good, motion carries, accept the minutes of the record. And Tony, what did you have for us? First item was payroll claims. And the payroll claims were in the amount of $327,545.82. $327,545.82.
Make a motion to approve payroll claims.
Second. Okay, motion carries. Okay, the next item, accounts payable claims. We paid on August 3rd in the amount of $872,540.54. $872,540.54. I handed those out to all of you prior to the meeting. Do you have any questions on that?
No, the biggest thing, Tony, was, I agree with the highway department, that was like $641,000.
A lot of that was Bridge 106, man, the beauty excavating.
There's a bridge, Blue Bridge, community crossings.
Yeah.
They're two of the biggest ones. Otherwise, it's been fairly normal.
Make a motion to accept the claims.
Second.
Okay, motion carries. Okay. We have the weekly allied health insurance claims. This week is in the amount of $18,227.35. $18,227.35. And that is all medical. And that will need your signature though. I didn't stamp it, I just printed it out. $18,227.35. All medical.
Is there any stop loss in there? Any cuts?
I'll make a motion, we accept the claims.
Okay. Second.
All right, motion carries. Okay. Along with that, I handed out to you prior, just for your information, just to give you an update on the balance in the health insurance accounts as of the end of July. Checking was $319,059.13. Reserve is $3,125,930.32. Just to update you on what that's looking like.
Thank you. Any questions on that report?
All right. Okay, and then Ed and Kathy are at a conference, so I'm going to go ahead and I handed out to you the Treasurer's Monthly Report for July. So we might as well go ahead and do that now. If you have questions, I'll try to answer them, but I think it's pretty standard there. He would say that all was looking good.
Okay, any questions on the treasurer's report? Or that motion, go ahead and accept the report into the minutes as presented.
Second. Motion carries, thank you. That is all for me. Okay, Brad?
Call on a special guest again today.
Nice.
Jason, just like to say a few words.
Just wanted to bring Brad his keys back and thank each and every one of you for publicly for letting us use the fairgrounds. I'd come shake your hands, but I know how some people are about that kind of stuff yet today, so we'll just pass that. But it went well, and good. I just wanted to publicly thank you for letting us use the parking lot, so.
Yeah, for somebody who had some decent weather, man, Sunday was a downer.
It was wet, it was wet. Yeah, we had a record number on sales of food, so.
Did you really?
It all turned out well, so.
Oh, that's hot. Yeah.
I got a little nervous on Sunday with the monsoon. I'm thinking, where's everybody gonna be? But it still worked out, so. But it went really well.
Sloppy for the horses, right?
A little sloppy. Yeah, I don't think they got to run till about Wednesday. It
Yeah.
was like a pond out there.
I mean, that arena looked pretty good.
Yeah, dried up pretty quick.
So I don't know if you just tore up that or everything stone
Yeah, so it could drain off.
to get it to drain off.
So, thank you.
Yeah, good. Thanks a lot, guys.
Okay, good morning again. The first thing I have today from Bridge 10, no, I'm sorry, I'm back up. From the sheet piling project that we did down on 1200 South, the Wabash River Bank stabilization. The firm that does the work, which was Finco, they've got to get a surety bond and all that stuff. So the insurance company sent us some paperwork to finish filling out that the project's done, that we have to just verify the project's done and what went on. So basically, the only thing I need, and I have 2 copies here, is for Stan to sign it as a final, so they know the project's done. It's from Ohio Farmers Insurance Company, so they're surety.
So that is just to protect their clients from.
Basically, on a surety, Mark, help me if I understand right, they have to have a surety bond, that way if they don't finish the project or something happens, there's money there that it can be finished.
Performance bond.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I've got 2 copies here
Do
that
we need a motion on that?
I'll make a motion that we're for the chairman to go ahead and sign the contracts.
Okay. Motion carries.
you're signing it. There's 2 copies. Right there.
All right.
And then while Stan's signing that, we have 55 miles of chip and seal done, and we've got about another 26 to go. And if the weather would hold out, we're hoping to be done here in a couple weeks. And there again, things look well. The weather's only affected us a few days and didn't put us off that much.
And I will comment that the chip and seal road is really good down there. It's the southern end of the county.
It's went well, and there again, I kind of explained to you guys before, working with US Ag on the stone we use, they've done an excellent job on the stone, the consistency of it, it works well, really does. And as you guys kind of see from the bill, we go through a lot of stone when we do this, so. They figured out it's roughly 200 ton a mile that we actually use. And the one other thing that I have today, we got word from one of our salesmen that the whole tandem truck, the whole thing we've been through, our chassis is actually at the bodybuilder now. So we're a little bit ahead of schedule because they told us 4th quarter, a little bit ahead of schedule, not much, but the chassis is actually at the bodybuilder. So we haven't heard from them yet. It just showed up last week, when they're going to start building it because they've got everything going on too. And so with that being said, our salesman from the chassis informed us that in 45 to 50 days, they're going to have slots open again. And we would like to try and get ahead of the game. And so I'm here asking permission if we can go after another tandem axle dump truck. We would like to keep this moving, knowing that it's going to be who knows when next year before we would see the chassis again. So we would just like to get your permission to start the process. That way, when he does have slots available, we can go, here you go, we're ready. Okay. So, and then that brings up a question from Mark, the whole Sourcewell thing. You can do dump trucks through Sourcewell. And, we used that on that loader. It worked out well. Sourcewell, just as a reminder, is a national thing. They take care of kind of all the advertising and the bidding and they get all that down to a T where you don't have to go through a lot of that process, if I'm explaining this right. And dump
So it's
trucks,
not necessarily approved pricing, it's just
kind of.
kind of.
They've got an idea of what everything's gonna cost, because they've already done all the homework ahead of time, if I'm explaining that right, Mark.
Yeah, so it's, they satisfy the public bidding requirements, you can go through them, and then they have, gotten quotes from the required number of vendors, and then they've got pricing, and so then you'll get the lowest, pricing, and it qualifies for meeting Indiana public purchasing statute. So we looked at that prior. I guess the only question I would have would be, do you buy the chassis separate and then the bed or separate, or how does that work?
No, typically how it works is we'll spec everything out, and then the chassis dealer and the
So they get the quotes for the chassis and the quotes for the bed?
they get everything, they work together on getting the whole thing priced.
I got you.
Yeah. So I guess, in that, source well, you eliminate a lot of our home, or not home, but our stuff we usually do, the advertising, the bidding, because they've already done that on a national scale. So that's why I wanted to talk, today about it, see if Sourcewell is a possibility on an up truck, or,
As long as they can get us what we spec out.
yeah, yes, yep. So basically, we give them our specs, and, they can use that Sourcewell pricing to be able to do this.
Yeah, you can do that.
And now I will say one thing, and again, just like everything else we've talked about, we can spec this thing out and bid it out and do all that. I don't know how many you're gonna get back, because I don't know where everybody's at on their build schedule.
Well, it's like, last time we inspected out with a rural specific engine
Yeah.
in there. And so that kind of eliminated some of the other bids.
Equivalent to or greater than that.
So I don't know if you're gonna do the same thing this time.
So we really like to, because we're having some issues with the other stuff that the older, the ones that I talked about before.
Yeah.
We're having some more issues with a few of them.
But really, when was it, last fall, we couldn't get a slot?
And that's why we found out there's gonna be slots available, and we would really like to be ready for this. That way, when the slots do come available, we can put our name in, if you guys allow it.
Yeah.
Knowing that it's gonna be, who knows when next year before we'll see it again.
Yeah.
What was the final cost on the one we're getting now?
Boy. The 250. It's in 250, 260. If I remember correctly. Don't, never quote me on it, but yeah.
I thought it was somewhere around there.
Yeah, and we did, we talked about it today in the office. We've got the money, it was already set back for, the one coming now. And we do actually have money that we can say it's set back for the truck until next year arrives. We gotta have it in the budget. So we still do have money for equipment in the budget, even add another tandem axle dump truck.
Yeah, I just want to make sure, I'm sure that you got it in the 2023 budget.
Yes. Yeah, basically, we gotta have the money this year, even though we're not gonna spend it till next year. So yeah, we do have it. Yep.
Well, if we've had good luck with Sourcewell, we might as well keep banging on that door as long as they can
Yeah.
help us out.
Yep.
So,
And I'm gonna just, I will throw it out too, we all know what prices have done, so I'm looking for this one to be, it's gonna be more. Obviously, just like everything.
in your budget.
Yes. Yeah, we do have it in the budget.
And that's part of the replacement program that you would like to see as far as your equipment goes.
Yes.
I make a motion that Brad progress with that.
Second.
Okay, motion carries. It's just an odd climate to have to speak for a truck 2 years in advance.
Oh, and I think, did I tell you, remember we had a little bit of a bed problem there for a while? The company that was doing it, did I tell you guys they went ahead and they do have our bed made?
Oh, good.
Okay, yeah, that bed is made. It's not at the builder yet, but the bed is made. So this one, hopefully, once they can get everything there, get a time frame on it, really be nice to have it by this winter.
Yeah.
We'll see. No, hold my breath. Anyhow.
It is interesting when you say like the chassis has to go to the body guard. The chassis doesn't come with the cab and the body and stuff.
Okay, when we see the body, it's, no, it's the when I say body builder, it's the dump body, the underblade body, all the hydraulics for the dump bed and all that. Yeah. The chassis is the cab, the engine, the transmission, and then just a frame.
Yeah.
The body builder puts everything on that in that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they run all the hydraulic lines and they, like our hitches on back, all the air lines to the back for our trailer hookups, the bed, like I said, the underbody, all your snow plow lighting, the snow plow mounts, they got all that on at the bodybuilder.
There's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of stuff they gotta put on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Could be the hoist and everything else.
But it's everything. I mean, it's pretty unbelievable what all they got put on. It's pretty rare when they get.
So the chassis price is a bare bones.
Yes.
Chassis price.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. It is, electric over hydraulic, or whatever you call it, hydraulic over electric, or they complete hydraulic.
They're hydraulic.
Right.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying could be something electric, but like on all your hand valves and all that, that's hydraulic. It's hydraulic, but electric in there,
Does it have those?
yes.
Yeah. It doesn't have like a, PTO driven hydraulic pump like the old ones used to.
No, because we got away from that because, so on the old one where it was a direct drive PTO, that PTO was always running when the truck was running.
Oh,
So if we had a truck break down, we actually had to, the PTO went out the front of the trucks to run the hydraulics. We actually had to take out that PTO shaft. We had a truck break down and we had to bring it back because otherwise that'd be turning when you were dragging it down the road and we didn't want to burn anything up. So the new ones now are no longer a direct drive. Now they're live. It's somehow off the transmission and then it can run and it doesn't affect if it breaks down. Yeah.
like Mark says, it's better than electric,
Somehow, yeah.
electric hydraulic pump.
Yeah. So now we've gotten away from that direct drive off the trainee. It's something electrical with the, yeah.
I always thought that was a different subject. I was interested with trains too, to where they have hydraulic engine that drives a generator that drives electric drives it to the-
Yep.
So that's kind of almost
Yeah,
backwards.
yeah.
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 So that's all I have for today. Pretty simple.
Great.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks a lot.
And Rick had texted me, he's not here today, so he's not feeling well, so. So he's not gonna be in today. And Tony presented the report from Gunner. Michelle's gonna be here at 11, but
I did ask, I emailed Angie to see if she wanted to see if Michelle could come a little early, just in case we move quickly, so
okay,
I don't know how soon she can be here,
good.
depending on what Mark and Shannon have.
Shannon, did you have anything for us today? I don't know if they report, I'm not sure she's earning her keep.
I know.
I consider my report a good thing. Okay. No, that's good. There's plenty to do.
Stan,
Yeah.
did Rick give an update as far as his elevator estimates to the here,
She did not. And, the things that when we talked, we said, he didn't give Otis elevator a deadline, when they could get their bid by, otherwise they're out of the picture, so.
Yeah.
So it sounds like by the end of August, we'll have three quotes. I might double check again, but it didn't sound. Yeah, other updates, so. Okay. Mark, did you have anything? Still waiting to hear back from Red Gold about how they want to take title to that property if we're going to relinquish that. I mean, I assume no plans on relinquishing it, however. No, I got the issue covered. It's just a matter of how they want to take title and they want to make sure they don't have any issues with right of way, so.
I mean, it sounds like it's more like the highway department thing as far as the road coming in there. Yeah, I sent him, it's, Steve Austin, I sent him an email last week about it, and I haven't heard back from him yet, so let me double check here. You have Michelle's number over there, do you wanna call her and see if she wants to? I have it in my phone, I think. Cause I don't know if Angie seen my email, they're kind of busy up there themselves.
Hey Shannon, is there any update on the health department as far as the employees, the situation there yet?
We have 3 interviews scheduled this week, 1 for the RN job and 2 for the office manager job.
Because like me, so. You heard of any other meetings getting set up with, Country Acres? I asked them.
We're waiting on Michelle, that's it.
That's regardless. Are you coming in, this morning, I think? But, yeah, sure. We are getting through the agenda a little bit quicker. So I don't know if you want to come over this quicker, you sure we won't see this money yet, but so you know, happy to take with us. I'll get on that. Okay. If you're okay with that, I don't wanna, okay. All right, well, I appreciate it. All right, thank you. Yeah, she's gonna head over here shortly. So I knew we had everything that we needed to do on that. Who's the? What did you guys find out? Did we have any better contact information for Country Acres or not so much? So far, I know that, I know they were trying to communicate with Angela Wilson, and last time we talked to them, we said, get your board reorganized. And get somebody appointed that can be the point person to communicate with Island. So we'll see. I think I've got an email from somebody that I did up here last week. I've got to look at and see. I wonder, those guys that were here, did we even get any contact information?
After hours, this old boy might be
I don't
calling.
know. Well, Angie might have it upstairs.
You know,
Because they were involved in the tax sale, I think.
all right.
You guys decide.
I just don't. I can see how you. They're gonna guarantee you that we're gonna.
Stan is cold from that after.
Well, that's what I wondered if he's coming in with the,
Probably give them a call.
yeah.
Just to double check.
He might not show up till 11:30.
Yeah. Brad, this is what happens when you and I don't have a lot.
Yes, so. Good thing that, well, too bad the sheriff's not here.
Oh, yeah, you could fill that 30 minutes.
Well, that he was giving me a hard time about how long.
I can give an update on the We have a modern Viceroy butterflies this year, and they are an endangered species.
Oh, yeah.
Like monarchs, they almost look exactly like, but we've got a bunch of them this year.
How is it that happened? If they're an endangered species and.
Just, I'm not sure how it happens. There's, every year just varies so much according to weather and, and everything. So we have flowers we've never had before, some that usually show up that haven't. It's just every year is different. That's what's neat about it. But there's a lot of those this year. Different people commented on my pictures that they said, you're taking pictures from an endangered species there, pretty neat.
Yeah, I guess
Know that our log can house an endangered species, take care of them.
Now, how many acres is that? Or,
The log's right around 500. They're a little more than that now because they bought that whole woods out by the White Oak Cemetery. Across there. Some more ground.
This is just a one-time shot.
No, it's just the one they're gonna start.
I still got them rolled back, sitting in the garage there. Maybe it's when you do that.
they use them
It's
for
been
the.
kind of sloppy because the guy that always did the trails had falling out. A gal in it, that was, in the office from the state, but she quit and another one's coming back. And Randy and Jerry have proposed to him, pretty good salary. He's gonna come back and clean the place out.
So that would be an extension of the South Adams trails? Or not necessarily?
It's not an extension of South Adams, so completely different over there. They have around the whole project now, they have around 2,000 acres. And the original Limberlost was 8,000 acres. And so Gene Stratton Porter divided her writing mainly into the woods, the swamp, and the fields. And Rob represents the swamp right along 27 if you go to the port. And you see some stuff in there about a mile south of Geneva. Those are trails in the woods. And then a little farther over is fields, and that represents her writing about the fields. And also from the covered bridge back, Rainbow Bottom back, Rainbow Bottom back, there is some of the wood stuff too. My grandma and I used to walk all those trails and see them before I ever knew any of that. We walked out to the covered bridge along the river.
The more trails back then already too.
I bought a camera, nice camera in the late 50s, and we would walk from the Iron Bridge, it was then, over to the Highway Bridge and back. That trail's been there for a long time, and he bought it to take pictures of flowers along that trail, and we'd go together, Dad and I would walk together that trail.
Steve, you know when they're gonna have that?
I don't know, I got my promise for that, but I bet he had something to do with it.
Said during Geneva
We're
celebration.
very fortunate to have that in Adams County. And within the last week, I've met people from Noblesville, from up when they come from all over. They hear about it, they come up and walk it. Ohio, we have quite a few that come from Coldwater and places over that way.
I have to find out what mosquito repellent you use because I haven't found anything that works this year.
Yeah,
Those mosquitoes have been getting.
so we're very fortunate here that we got one up at Rome City, her cabin up there. She had a cabin when she left this area because of all the trees being cut down, the fields being made, and the swamp being drained. She went to Rome City. And there were testers that lived around Geneva, around Rainbow Lake. Marjorie Sweeney was Marjorie Tester. And she went up there and she ran that place. She was the curator at Rome City for 22 years. A good buddy, Mert Springer, and I went up one time, and, we were up there several times.
Yeah. I bet there was, I bet there was probably 10.
That's right.
Maybe he's already busy taking it, all right.
Doing this. Hi, Cole, this is Stan. Hey, were your guys coming in today, or your people coming in today? Okay, yeah, that should work. We're running a little bit ahead of schedule, so, yeah. Okay, all right, that sounds good, thanks, Bill.
The 15th.
I don't, I'll have to look and see. So. What do we have that? I never went on that, she's always invited. I wouldn't mind going sometime.
Interesting.
Senator,
Yeah.
My wife and I are going this year.
Yeah.
We were,
yeah, I might try.
I'm on a Thursday.
I don't know, you went to that cybersecurity over here the other day.
Is that a funeral?
Yeah, the funeral.
Oh. I thought you were over there, cause Dan.
I had signed up for you 3.
Yeah.
And did you go over? Steve?
Well, I had that, we had that meal.
Yeah, I got it right here. Yeah. And I have, my son just came in.
Their names.
I wanted to see.
Cindy Heiser.
Yeah, I sent him the thing and told him I couldn't go because I had a.
It breaks down her, but Dan said it was a little bit to 4-9. Really good. But I just thought maybe if you went.
No, but Mike is going.
Mike did, yes, Mike.
Yeah. And I think Shannon went.
She'd be the one that.
Shannon, did you go to that Friday meeting, that cybersecurity meeting? Okay.
Yeah,
I know Dan did.
yeah, he said it was real good. So. Yeah. Any reports from our future commissioner?
You know, I was just speaking of Country Acres, and Mark probably doesn't, Mark knows this too, but I was just trying to think if sewer district had any of their future plans, as expansion out that way. And I don't believe it's on our roadmap anywhere.
Yeah.
Certainly that could be something that maybe the sewer district might take a look at and see if they could maybe.
That would certainly solve part of the problem out there.
You know, we're working out in right now, and that would be probably, you know, we're in Oakwood, we're in Peterson, you know, it falls somewhere kind of in between there. I don't know what it would take to expand into that area, but we've got a meeting next Thursday, week from Thursday. And I'll bring that up and ask our engineer to take a look at that and see if that's, see where that would fall into the sewer district's plan.
Yeah. It might be something if, Sean is here now. Okay. If there were some other, I think we already kind of looked at it. And it was expensive to get down there.
That's the problem. It's just so expensive to get there, and that, other than that little pocket, there's just not a lot of connections that you would pick up to that expansion. That's always the issue.
But from a solution standpoint, that would be the best solution.
Yeah.
If there were some other funds that maybe if I was interested in doing something here and if some other funds could be brought in as matching funds or additional grant funds, beyond what the sewer district itself can do.
It all comes down to funding on all those projects.
It does. But the sewer district solution would be ideal simply because the sewer district then owns and operates the infrastructure,
System.
and it wouldn't require that area to have an association to collect dues, to hire an operator, to file reports, to stay in compliance and stay solvent.
which is really, I think, their main difficulty. And so, if the sewer district was able to get down there economically, with sufficient funding, it would provide the solution. And then if individuals, don't pay the bill, then it goes on a lien and it goes up for a tax sale, and so that,
Part of the issue too, I think, is, as it is right now, the viability of those properties is getting lower and lower every day because they don't have sewer. But, the best case scenario would be is if the sewer district was out there, their water was in compliance, and the nuisance ordinance was in place to where they cleaned up properties. I mean, those properties could be developable and the viability would be a lot higher. But, there's multiple things would have to happen for that to actually pay off.
Obviously, it's in the county's best interest if we can find a solution that allows those folks to stay in their homes.
Sure.
So, and I think Mark's right. I think we probably need to poke around a little bit with the engineer and struggle to find a viable way for the sewer district to reach it. But we'll also resurface that again on Thursday, or a week from Thursday.
Yeah, if that becomes something that, because with all those properties out there, I forget how many properties there are, but, if that were something that, is it 40?
I think there's 40 lots.
I'm sure that's pretty high on the health department's list of troubling
It is almost at the top.
situations. And obviously, and certainly that's a list that the sewer district pays a lot of attention to when they're trying to figure out where to run sewer to, is so that we can service the most people with the most need.
Yeah. So rather than condemning 40 lots and taking those homes away,
Putting people out of their homes.
if we could make those 40 viable building sites.
Yeah, and I certainly don't know that that's a possibility, but I'll just service the question again.
Yeah.
it's about 4,600 feet from where we're at, from 27 to get back to where we could set a lift station.
Smile.
A little less than a mile.
And you know, to run a mile with just 40 connections,
Yeah,
it makes some sense.
yeah,
I don't know, we'll figure it out.
we need to look at it.
Yeah.
Yes, 3 o'clock would be a week from the 11th, I think maybe it is, or something like that.
Okay. Well, thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. All right, Michelle, hey, thanks for coming over early. Appreciate that. So, yep. And it was too bad the cat couldn't come up
I know.
today. But,
Hopefully everything's okay. He said it was a severe family.
yeah, I don't know either. He didn't say that, but,
I'm a little surprised I wasn't on that thread anyways.
yeah, I was surprised you did. Did I forward that to you?
You did,
Yeah.
so I saw that, yes.
All right.
All right, well, thanks for having me again.
Yeah.
Little bit of update of what's been going on with Council on Aging. With your help, we were able to move over to the mayor in November. And since then, we opened the senior center and the former library in January, and it's been very well received. We have visitors coming from the very most southern end of the county to the very most northern end and beyond. So we've got people coming regularly from Hoagland, from Ohio, coming to utilize and play euchre, do the painting classes, not necessarily go walking the halls, but I have seniors coming every day to walk. One gentleman just had a complete heart transplant, and he's been coming twice a day to walk the halls to get his
Wow.
cardio in. So what a blessing it is to have a safe place that they can just come in and out of. No puddles, no ice. Roughly 70% of our trips are medical. We do offer transportation for non-medical, especially within the county. We've got ladies set up regularly to get their hair done. Take a lot of people to get groceries, Walmart and Kroger, laundromat, banks, you name it, pretty well anywhere in the county that they would want to go, they're able to. We do go out of the county for medical only. With the rising cost of fuel, we haven't raised our suggested donations. I wish we could, but it's hard on everyone. So in place of that, I've been out trying to find additional grants. I was able to secure a grant from the First United Methodist Church for $3,000 earlier this year to help cover. We've already used our fuel allotment for the year.
Wow.
Yep, we had that done by the end of June. So just what I had budgeted, but it's hard on everyone, so I understand that. In your packets, I am out in the community trying to find as much money as I can everywhere. And since I printed this, it's over 200,000 that I've been able to bring in addition to the regular money that Council on Aging usually gets from local support agencies. We do get some funding from the government in the form of 3B. So a person, I can get funding from 3B if they are 60 or over, and it falls in the criteria that the government deems okay, and we get $11 a trip reimbursed for that. We have $34,000 a year, so usually we are beyond that budget, but we still submit that full amount every time. We had our first senior day trip in June. That was a blessing. We went to Indianapolis. Wasn't able to quite find a bus company trip planner person that would work with us to have pickup and drop off here in Decatur, so I did it myself. So we chartered a bus out of Fort Wayne, went to Beef and Boards. We have monthly bingo. We've been able to find sponsors for that. So this last month, Heartland Home Health and Hospice brought fresh fruit for the prizes. This month's sponsor is St. Mary's Church. So I'm out in the community trying to find other businesses, organizations that can get in front of a group of seniors and, you know, build that bond. We've got 2 groups that come play cards every week, Mondays and Thursdays. We've got painting. I, in my spare time, decided to become a SHIP counselor because Adams County needed one and we didn't have one. And what SHIP is, it's the state healthcare insurance program. So what I am now licensed to do is, and it's free of charge to anyone, is I can log on and figure out the best plan for someone that would be the most cost-efficient benefit for them, as well as there are some money-saving opportunities that if their income falls in certain criteria that I can sign them up for. So Council on Aging, for every application I do for that, gets $90 back. So there's that benefit for my time, but mostly the benefit is for Adams County so that maybe some of those premiums get taken care of through the state healthcare insurance program. I've got a group of artists that come on Thursdays and they all do different mediums, watercolor, acrylics, and they all just meet, and they've been meeting for over 20 years, and they absolutely love to have the space that's comfortable. I make coffee for them. It's just, things are just exciting going on over there. Every day it seems like something else gets added or another opportunity appears that I think would really benefit Adams County. So last year we were able to get 35,000 in support from you guys, and I was hoping to possibly get 36 this year just to try to help close that gap of the extra fuel that we're using to run the vehicles. So, I know I talk fast, I'm sorry. You guys
Well, I
made me
know
uncomfortable, so.
We already submitted our budget. I think they did the budget 35 or. I think we did, but we also seeded funds, didn't we reallocate
Unallocated $100,000 for the transaction.
What is that? Is that for next year?
But let's get this year on.
They get 100,000 this year?
So,
And speaking of that, my big goal has been since I started 5 years ago to build a garage. And I've been able to I've got several quotes, and I've got a quote for $55,000 to build a 4-bay, 14-foot garage, 30 by 50. So if that seed of money is available, I would love to be able to use that to build a garage here at the back of the Merit Center. I already have the architects doing the plans for that. And then one down, I've talked to the mayor of Bern already, down behind the senior center down in Bern. so that both sets of vehicles, because we keep half our vehicles there and half up here, would be covered. I know the 100,000 and 255s makes 110. I would ask my board if I could pull the 10,000 from savings. It would be worth 10,000 in savings for us to get 2 garages out of the deal, so.
I think you guys having a garage for your vehicles would be a priority.
Absolutely.
So especially with looking at, expanding the transportation services coming up too. The only issue that we'll have to work out, and I guess it's kind of a marked question on, for us to build a garage on city-owned property, which would require some type of a long-term lease or something as far as.
Okay.
Yep, definitely gonna have to have a lease, long-term lease.
And I know you talked to Julie Marie about that too.
I did, and I've met with Kurt Whitty
Okay,
about that already, and I've been meeting with his architect, Josh Springer. And they've both met with the builder, so I'm trying to get all the ducks in a row, whatever I would need to do for that. But they've okayed the placement of it where it is. It's in the far southern end of the Merit Center property, back in the grass where no one would mess with it, so.
that's too bad it has to be so far away from your entry.
I agree, but I think my drivers will drive back, park their vehicle, pull the council on aging out, and then they can park in the garage and then they'll drive up. They won't have to be walking that far.
Right.
Set on council's agenda for appropriation. Okay, so I don't know.
What would be my process then next to proceed with the seed of money for the garages?
Out this week tomorrow.
Once I already have the architect, I just got the architect plans today. I don't have.
Yeah, get with me, you got my contact information, get with me, and we've got to make sure that, funds are appropriated, so that if there's something additional needed, we got to call up probably today before she sends it off to the advertisers. Yep. Or else it'll be too late. Yeah, it needs to go in.
Michelle, does that estimate include a driveway cost?
No. It is not.
With the blue driveway, when it's set right on the edge of the pavement.
The plans have a stone drive going alongside the little garage that's there back to the building. That's a good, I'll need to.
But you'll
look
have
at
to
that.
get that driveway
Yeah.
cost too.
How much do you think that'd be? Another 5,000 probably? I have no idea.
I don't know.
Just the day's cost.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
We'll have to put a driveway in.
just be stone though, I mean, well,
You gotta cut it. You gotta cut it, put your, how many feet is it gonna be?
I don't know.
I think it.
Yeah, then you'll have to run electricity back there.
Yep. And that's part of my quote already.
Oh, it is part of the quote?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Running it back to the building?
Yes.
Okay.
I want electricity back there and I want to be able to have just like a 60-degree heat back there so that the vehicles don't.
Yeah. And I remember
Needed to spend that.
that's running the gas line too, then, probably.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
No, I'll check into the drive. I don't know.
Yeah.
Figure that out. For the one down in Bern, it would go right next to the parking lot. So there wouldn't be any additional drive needed there. But for the one here, there would be, because it would tie into the alley that's already there.
I think it's gotta get appropriated, yeah.
Okay.
Go and you get it worked out with the city first. Right.
Yeah.
You need to find out exactly what we're gonna do there.
And the board, merit board has already approved me to go forward. They've already approved the garage. So, and I'm meeting with city council tonight for the garage as well.
Okay. Well, so if she's meeting with Decatur City Council tonight, anything that she needs to know before that meeting, or they need to know as far as an agreement?
We'll just need to get with their city attorney and work out the terms of a long-term lease before we commit to building any sort of structure on ground that
Same
they don't know.
Correct.
What's that?
Same with Berlin.
Mhm.
Yep. So as far as her getting that CEDA money brought over to her, and that's just, council will do that as an appropriation.
Yeah, they appropriate. We'll check in with them on that, check and see if we still get that advertised in time.
Cause I mean, is that how the highway department does it, the council, or Economic Development Corporation does it?
Well, no, the commissioners adopt the
seeded ordinance, and then, it goes to council, and then they appropriate those funds.
Right, so I mean, that's the same process for her that it is for those other.
Yeah, like we'll just have to tell council, it's not extra money, it's money that's there, it's just gotta be appropriated.
Right.
So
So,
we just have to see if we can get that.
so I mean, like say for the money that we take out of CEDA for the highway department, that's done as an additional appropriation.
It gets appropriated out of seeded funds, yeah.
So,
And in theory, I had talked to Reuben Tyler, is the builder I've been working with for the garage. He's Extreme Builders. He's great. He seemed to think that we would be able to get a garage done before snow falls, which would be my goal.
good.
We've got a couple months yet, hopefully, to iron out.
How many vehicles would that?
4. So it's 4 10-by-12 doors here and then 4 down in Bern. And we only have 4 vehicles right now.
Excellent.
So I'd be planning ahead in case we were able to expand.
Well, that sounds like a pretty good price for an insulated building with 4 doors and heat.
I agree, it's 30 by 50.
Yeah.
My initial a year and a half ago for him was 50, so I didn't think 55 was bad with everything else being
Right.
so outrageous right now.
That's probably a pole barn, I suppose.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so like for the one that would be behind the Merit Center, they wanted that to kind of mirror that little garage's siding colors that's there. That's fine with me. And then for the one down in Bern, they would want it to fit into the senior center's colored. I could care less about colors. I just want my vehicles protected.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's for sure. Okay.
thank you for all you guys' support. I really do appreciate it.
Well, I just think it's amazing to always see what you can accomplish and what you get done as far as getting more people involved, get more activities involved for people and just, making me feel better that way.
It definitely breathed some life into that building, I'll tell you that for a
Yeah.
fact. Because when we moved in, there was no tenant, now we're up to 8. And there's so many people coming from all over. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Just a place that they can gather, that they don't have to pay money to sit there and whether buy something to eat or I love it.
Yeah.
They're so grateful.
Yeah.
Michelle, how many people are actually leasing space out there now?
I think 8.
There's 8 out there.
So you've got Easter Seals, Work One, Family Centered Services, Bowen Center, Literacy Alliance, and Community and Family Services has 2. They have 7. And then us, so. And then Kids Kingdom's moving in the next 2 months. They've been waiting on the double door for security to be installed. So, the police have a room in there, a double room in there that they do training with their canines when the weather's not great. So that's always fun to see. Their poor little puppy likes to, I'm able to go back there whenever they're training. So they'll hide drugs in places and he'll go alert and find, and then he'll look at me like, can I go see her yet? And they're like, not yet. So they'll go find the next one and look back. It's so cute. So then he finally gets to come see us, when he's done, that's his reward. But it's just adorable.
Well, that'll probably be fun for the kids too when they get.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Well, and I spoke with the Kids Kingdom director yesterday, and she would love to set up a pairing with seniors and children, and I think that's wonderful as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
a lot of opportunities.
What percentage of the building do you think is used right now or will be used with the commitments that are made?
Maybe a quarter. There's still a whole wing not being utilized. So
Okay.
I think there's a lot of opportunity there. So
Yeah.
I could fill that up in no time. I did start creating a newsletter. I brought one for you guys. I think I emailed it to you
Yeah, how often are you gonna put that
last
out,
month,
Michelle?
of course, in my spare
I
time.
thought it was neat.
Thank you. In my spare time. Yeah.
Kids.
Yep. So it's just a way to get out in the community.
I think it's great. What do you do?
It doesn't cost us anything except to mail it. They were able to find businesses to sponsor to help pay for the cost of printing. So the only thing we have in it is the time it takes to create it. So
Got a couple of extra.
I do. Does anyone else? I got 3. Oh, I just want to leave one. Maybe that's-
Eight, looks great. You know, veterans.
Jim, you want one of these, like, presentation?
Is this, most of the stuff that you covered, is it in here?
Yeah,
What you
everything's
were
in there.
talking about?
Yep.
Are you gonna be in the office?
I will be.
Go through this, I may either, get called or around.
You just know I can do the Chris's, I can walk anywhere.
How much are they?
There you go.
100,000 for seed money.
That's, you know, it's
Still
been
two projects.
ages since I played cards. Ages.
You know,
Oh, any other questions for Michelle? No?
Yep, I'll be there till 4.
Okay.
I'll maybe run out of there.
I guess we'll wait and see what she finds out tonight.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
would the city cut a driveway? Do they have the capabilities of who
I bet they will.
pay them?
Yeah.
Well, if the city would cut the driveway, you pay them to do it.
Would that be Jeremy Gilbert, I would ask?
Yeah.
That poor guy does everything. They need like 3 more of him. I don't,
I would ask, check with him, yeah.
I would much rather have it in-house.
Well, there kind of used to be 3 more of them, but through attrition, he kind of took on
Yeah.
other departments. So,
Seems like, yeah, I have to go to him for anything over there. I mean, I feel bad.
Yeah.
Air conditioner, Jeremy Gilbert, you know, snow shoveling, Jeremy Gilbert. I just feel bad. I feel bad bugging him all the time.
Well, if they could do it, they obviously would be responsible for the,
Yeah,
yeah.
because they're gonna have to shovel the snow for it too, so they would want it to be what they,
that'd be nice.
be nice if I could find someone to donate, you know, and actually pave it.
Yeah.
Good plan, I'll do stone first.
Well, and I think too that, you know, you've obviously worked hard to find additional funding, and that just always means a lot as
Yeah.
far as being able to offer more services, and
Yeah,
so.
I did an impact grant for Community Foundation and I turned in 19,000 and I got 7. So I need to figure out what I can do for 7 over there, so.
Is there anything that would fall under mental health? Because it seems like there's a lot of money out there for mental health.
I don't know, I would think the courtyard would fall underneath that, just for the fact that they could get outside and enjoy. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah. But that's something that the courtyard that you have asked for money for through ARP is, yeah, that's, it will be a council decision coming up.
That's coming up this month, right? I think they were doing
Yeah,
it in August.
I think they are,
Okay.
so hopefully they'll make a decision later this week. So.
All
Yeah.
right,
Thank you.
thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
Do it. Sounds good.
We have about 20 teams every Wednesday night at 6:30. You guys do? Oh, those were probably 70 to 90%, right? You could. 11. I'd be ashamed if I got people like a 100-year-old person. It's fine.
Anything else from the general public? Okay.
Motion to adjourn. Second.
Okay. Do we are.